Hi, welcome to Soul Food. Yesterday we were busy packaging your food. In your bags you got some chicken and you got some beef. Hope you enjoyed the demonstration on the chicken goujons with the homemade breadcrumbs. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the beef. So I've done it a few ways. In your pack you may have a joint of beef like that, which as you can see, a beautiful piece of silver side beef. Now, the way we cut this into steaks, when you're cutting in steaks, you must cut along this way and not along that way. So you're going with the grain. Can you see the grain there? If you go against the grain, it comes up with a little tougher joint. So we're going to roast these two and we're going to braise these steaks. So you can either go either way. Please don't use this as a frying steak. It will be quite tough if you try to use it as a frying steak. So I've cut up some root vegetables. You've got some carrots and swede in there. I've added some celery and onions. Just beware that if you are adding celery, you're actually adding an allergen, but I just think it's great as a root vegetable when you're cooking roast dishes. So I've got a hot pan and I've got some vegetable oil in there. Don't use olive oil, it will adjust the flavour and stuff. So vegetable oil or rapeseed oil or sunflower oil is easier, less flavoury. Get that really hot because we're going to seal the beef. And what I mean by seal, we're sealing all the moisture and the juices in the beef. So we're going to really hot pan, flash fry it, then we're going to transfer it into our containers. So while that's heating up, I'm sure that should be ready now. If you wanted to dice this and make a stew out of it, that's fine as well. So all the end bits I've diced up, you can turn that into a stew or a casserole. So beef's going in, nice and hot, along with the steaks. And that's what you should be hearing, that sizzle. So literally they only have to be half a minute on either side really, because you're just sealing in the juices. Getting a bit of colour on there. Same with the joint. I'm just going to turn that, try and get all the sides of the joint. So we turn again. Any red bits there, just try and move it round so it all seals in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the roasting joints, just put them on a board for a while. The reason I'm going to do this because and the steaks, just put them on a board. You can still hear that sizzle. Now what we're going to do, once that's done, root vegetables all in. Just going to get these round to deglaze, get rid of that beautiful juices from the meat in there. These literally only have to go in for 30 seconds or so. Now, just going to get a spoon. You can still hear that beautiful sizzle. Now what I want to do is transfer. So 2 dishes, one for the roasting, one for the braising. We're going to transfer this beautiful vegetable into the bottom for the one that we're roasting. So our roasting meats will then go on top, like that. Now the braising one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the braising one, steaks in, like that, and just going to pour all that lovely stuff on top. So, what I've made earlier on, I've made some really thin gravy. You don't have to use gravy, you can use stock. But I've made some thin gravy just for the braising steaks. Now you need to coat, pretend you're in a chippy down south, and this is how they serve the gravy, really, really thin. Okay, so you can see that's covered. Don't need to season this yet, the one that's braising. There's a lot of stock in there, so the seasoning from the gravy will help out. And then we're just going to cover that with foil, and we're going to pop it in a relatively low oven, middle shelf, about 150 degrees, and we're going to leave that in there for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Just leave it in. If you have a slow cooker, great, you can put it in the morning along with the roasting joints if you have a slow cooker, and that's good to go. What I'm going to do with the roast beef, this is when I'm going to season it, and again I'm going to cover it with foil and I'm going to slowly roast it in the oven. I'll be back in a couple of hours to show you the finished product. Hi, welcome back. Now you can see our beef both ways is ready, and how I'm going to serve this is you can either use the new potatoes that come in your pack, or we can have some mash. I've added a little bit of horseradish sauce to this mash, nice creamy, so you don't have to use butter. If you put the horseradish in, you can use that instead of putting butter in. And we're just going to serve that, a little bit of a quenelle on the side of the plate again, as we did. It's really important when you're cooking beef that you let it rest before you slice it. So once it's cooked, reach its temperature of how you like it, take it off and put it on a board just to rest, and then it makes it so much easier to slice the beef. Nice thin slices there. Now, what I'm going to show you now is the vegetables that we cooked at the bottom of the beef. You can do this two ways. These are good enough to eat as they are now, but another really good way to do this is transfer it back into the tray. Once you've emptied the juices in a pan, you can transfer it back into the tray and then roast it, maybe with a little bit of garlic. But this is great served as it is, so nice bit of veg. So you've got all your root stuff going on in there. Now, our braised steaks, they're also ready, served in the gravy. Oh, look at that, beautiful. And then what we do is our juices with our root vegetables already in. Our gravy's already made from the stock we put in. And that's lovely. So, now I'm going to show you how to make the gravy. So from the juices from the meat, I've placed it into a pan. We need to heat this up really well. And as you can see inside the pan, it's already started the juices in there. So all the fat, the lovely flavours, there's so much flavour going on in this pan. What we need to do now is add some flour and make a roux. So we add a tiny bit of flour. And this has to be a dark roux. So all you do is you bring it all together until it forms like a paste in the bottom of the pan. And all that goodness is coming off the bottom. And it's really important that we have to cook this flour out. We don't want a floury taste in the gravy. So once all that liquid has been soaked up and made a paste, then we're going to cook our roux out for roughly about 5 minutes. So once your roux's cooked out after about 10 minutes, it should start to look like this. Okay, we started adding a little bit of water slowly. Make sure you don't add any stock cubes. If you add stock, it will be quite salty because there's so much flavour in that beef that we've already seasoned and the juices from the beef. And we'll just make sure and season at the end. Don't worry, I've put a whisk in now, but don't worry if you've got any lumps in there because we're going to put this through a sieve once it's finished. But we've got to really cook it out and reduce the flavour and just add when it starts to get a little bit thick. So you add the water until you get the thickness of the gravy that you prefer. And then once it's done to about this consistency, all that beautiful flavour's in there. And we're just going to reduce that again for roughly about 5 minutes. And the flavour of the gravy. Beautiful.